Nothing like the guy who doesn't work out trying to get you to work out. I mean, he can't even get his jacket closed, over here looking like a soup sandwich. Piedmont was born in a mountain village in a very harsh climate where it was snowy and icy for the majority of the year, and he was so poor that he wasn't able to afford a proper meal most of his growing up. So he decided to join the military, where they clearly overfed the guy. However, he does have a streak of remarkable achievements, as well as he's been given various rewards. I am curious about what all those are. But now he's able to run a training camp for the military where he's free to eat as many fruits as he wants. An odd ending to his bio, but at least the military is limiting what he can eat. We need to get this guy back in shape. Piedmont's exclusive skill, Elite Training, has two portions to it. The first part is whenever a unit of any type attacks from the front two rows, there's a chance of triggering a proccable ability that will attack all enemy units, dealing 40% damage at max stats. Here's a quick example of his exclusive skill that I used against the world boss. I do want to criticize Top War for their laziness, using the exact model for Katyusha's exclusive ability for Piedmont's. But here you can see my Navy unit also triggers the ability, so he is not just a Navy hero, he is a universal hero. The second part of his exclusive ability had some of us bickering for a little while because it didn't really make sense, but Top War seems to have since added a few extra words to his exclusive ability, clearing up a lot of the confusion. He's able to give a surprise buff. I hate the word surprise. It's an attack increase. Now, if you click the exclamation point at the top of his exclusive ability, this is better explained. This is where it says it's an attack increase for all units. He's also not required to be in the battle for this. And this maxes out once he reaches 5 stars at 5%. So he's going to give a universal 5% attack increase. Not huge, but hey, I mean, if he's going to sit in my inventory and do nothing, I'll take it. The part that has me a little bit confused is the second portion of this when it says, when more than one hero gets the buff, the surprise that gives the highest attack increase will take effect. Now, I haven't been able to figure out exactly what this means, but I do have a hunch. I am assuming they're going to release other heroes in the future that give similar boosts to this, which is probably why they're labeling it surprise. If I am right, that means future heroes that have the word surprise will not be able to stack their effects. The best one will take effect. I don't know that for sure. That's just an assumption. I can't find another reason for this second exclamation on his ability. So if you guys know exactly what that means, let me know in the comments below. If we find anything that makes sense and I agree with, I'll go ahead and pin your answer to the top of the comments. But wait, there's more to his exclusive ability. There are 3 new abilities he gets once his exclusive skill reaches level 3, 5, and 7. At level 3, all the units in his march get an attack increase of 20%. At level 5, we get an all-unit damage decrease of 1%, and he's not required to be in the battle. And at level 7, all units in his march get a 10% damage increase. And the effect of his surprise buff goes up by 2%, so instead of getting a 5% attack increase, you're going to get a 7% attack increase. As far as the strengths and weaknesses of Piedmont, of course, any exclusive ability that attacks all units should be marked as a strength. That is hugely beneficial, and his damage is on par with Yu when she came out, and everybody fangirled over her when she came out, so even though he's gotten a lot of criticism, I've heard a lot of people say that he kind of does low damage, he's on par with other heroes that have been released, so I think he's still a solid hero. He's just not game-breaking like most heroes are at their release. Also, his universal attack increase that he doesn't have to be in the battle for is huge. Any attack increase that comes from a hero's exclusive ability or a hero's skill is multiplicative and not additive. So in other words, a base skin will give you, say, a 5% attack increase that adds to your existing attack increase. So if you have 100 and you add 5%, you got 105. Where a hero's exclusive ability or hero skill, when they do an attack increase, it's multiplicative. It's multiplying your existing attack increase by that bonus. So that 5% is huge, and I think highly underrated. As far as the weaknesses, he doesn't really have any glaring weaknesses to me. However, he does lean very heavy on his war stats, so he's a bit low on HP, so you might want to compensate for that. But outside of that, still a very solid hero. Very underrated. As far as his pairings, just going off army pairings, since he is technically an army hero, but he is universal. Starting with the free heroes, you could do Bradley, giving yourself some extra HP to compensate for his high war stat, give you a little more survivability. Katyusha, if you just want to go straight attack and blow everything up, I'd only recommend that for offensive marches, though. If you're not limited to the free heroes, Optimus Prime's a good pick. Precious would also be a good pick. If you are short on orange heroes, Ishitaru would be a good recommendation since he's able to give an HP increase. If you don't have him, Rambo is always a good, reliable army hero. Now let's talk about perks, but I do have a note for the perks. If you go to his bio and look at the bottom of skill details, it says Universal Shards do not work on this hero. Actually, it says Universal Shards does not work on this hero, but that sounds funny. Top War, really? It doesn't matter, doesn't matter. You cannot use Universal Shards to upgrade the stars of this hero. So first off, you're going to want to get him to 5-star during this event, if at all possible. We don't know if we'll ever be able to do it after this, or if it does come, we don't know when. But this also leads me to believe that you will not be able to use Universal Shards to perk him out. For example, Bumblebee came out during the Transformers event, and he was similar in the way that you could only use his particular shards to rank him up. And even though I have him to 5-star, I cannot use Universal Shards. It doesn't give me the option to turn Universal Shards into Bumblebee Shards to perk him out. However, Bumblebee does show up on my list of perks that I can trade with people. So I could perk out another hero and then swap those perks to Bumblebee, for example, which means you should be able to do the same thing with Piedmont. So if you did want to perk him out, that's likely the method you're going to have to go. But as far as what perks I would recommend for him, I would go all unit attack and HP and army attack and HP. I'm recommending army just because he is an army hero. However, he's a universal hero, so you could, in theory, put Navy or Air Force perks on him instead if you so please. As far as the skills that I would recommend on Piedmont, his exclusive skill, especially getting it to at least level 5 or even better, 7, for those passive increases of either the damage decrease or the surprise increase, is an absolute must. So if you can, get his exclusive ability ranked up as quickly as possible, and then I would go with those regular PvP abilities: march size increase, damage increase, and attack increase. However, if he's just going to be sitting in your inventory for those passive increases, go ahead and throw those gold productions on. I gotta say, I'm really loving this style of hero that has these passive bonuses incorporated in their exclusive skill. It's something that I hope Top War continues to do, because it's very easy for free-to-play players to get the hero so they can stack up some of these buffs. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to drop a like while you're down there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to everybody who subscribed. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas and didn't drink too much silly juice. I'm still rehydrating myself. But everybody have a fantastic day.